There's a general rule of thumb in football that doesn't always apply. If you score 3 points in the first 55 minutes of a game, chances of scoring 14 in the final 5 are usually fairly slim. You usually can't count on your offense coming out of an extended hibernation when it has done nothing all night long, when it has looked like crap all night long, and then all of a sudden it takes over. But there's something about in those moments, and I didn't think he would pull it off, but there's something about the demeanor of Tom Brady that changes. It happened. I noticed it in the Thursday night game they played against the Ravens. He gets that old school look. He gets that old school vibe. The question is, can the guys around him match that intensity and ability? The night against the Ravens, they couldn't. This night they could. Down the field they went twice. The Saints helped them out by not burning up as much of the clock as they could have. The Saints helped them even before that by not burning up as much of the clock as they could have. We'll get to that. But 2 straight drives, Chris. Never mind the fact that Donovan Smith, number 76, was holding on every single play. As Pete Demolitis pointed out this morning, it's the old Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom approach.
Yeah, there's
hold
a lot
on
of
every
them.
play, and they're not going to call it on every play.
No, listen, it was amazing. It was a game that, of course, New Orleans, it was an ugly football game. Early on, Tampa blew some chances to kind of control the football game, whether it was not scoring a touchdown on the first drive or Brady missing some throws, on the second and third drive with wide open people, wide open down the field for big plays. And then from that point on, it was just New Orleans out-hit them, out-coach them, made more plays on the field, didn't make as many penalties. I mean, we're clearly the better team on the field. They were. And that's just the problem with Brady. Yeah, you're right, Mike. I mean, even at this age, he gets the ball in that moment with the defense going, wait, let's just protect. Let's try to not let them make the big play and score too quickly. It messes up their mojo. They become a little bit not relaxed, but they're not playing the same attacking style they were playing. And Tampa just got them reeling. They just got them reeling the last 2 drives, and they couldn't slow down the momentum. And, yeah, it was pretty unbelievable that they came back and won the football game. But with all that, still the play of the day came at 6:11 in the fourth quarter on a 2nd and 8, where Brady clutches anything but a shamrock the size of a pirate ship up his butt helped him pull this out too. And that to me was that to me was the moment of the game. It was the 2nd and 8, 6:11 left in the fourth quarter. Here we go. Here's the play. Game's going to be over right here. Game is over. He's going to get the first down and more. And just decides to go out of bounds because I don't know. He tweaked his ankle? I don't know. But that's going to be another 2 minutes off the clock, let alone they're on fringe field goal range. I mean, I have a hard time thinking the game's not over. That was one of the most remarkable things about the night last night, where I kept going, I rewound that play like 5 times, and here's a tweet from Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I'm sick about this one. He tweeted, regardless of circumstances or how I feel, I have to get that fresh set of downs for the squad. I apologize to my teammates, my coaches, and my city for a crucial mistake. We worked way too hard and sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears. I will be better. It did look like he pulled up with some sort of an issue. He did seem banged around last night. Generally, he was down on a knee after that play. But you're right. You're at the sticks. And it's not like, because we hear from time to time, well, the yellow line isn't available to be seen by the players on the field. No, but the big orange vertical stick is right there. They know where that is.
He's a veteran player.
The vertical stick is right there.
Right.
And he pulls up and goes out of bounds a yard or maybe less than 2 yards short of it. It just didn't make any sense. It felt like a routine play from the second quarter of the game. No awareness. No awareness.
I don't even know if it's awareness. I think it's more personal pity. Like, oh, man, I pulled something here, and I'm just going to go out. Instead of just going, wait, let me just get the first down and then go out. Because he does go to the sideline. You know me. I'm not trying to be a jerk about injuries or anything like that. I'm always sensitive to it.
Fall down.
Yeah.
You still have to have the awareness to just fall down not go out of bounds. Even if you don't get the first down, fall down.
Even that. But the first down was, he didn't have to do anything except just keep walking. That to me, for a player of that stature and as many big games as he's been in, and what he's done I can't, that was a mind-blowing moment for me in the football game. mind-blowing. And it was the play that lost the game. As you know, I texted the group, right? I mean, what, a minute later? And I just said, all I know is that I think Mark Ingram might have blown the game for the Saints. It's dicey now. Not only with the time like you're talking about, but the fact that the first down, I mean, it was like we're talking about, easily attainable. So that's a rough one to swallow. That's a rough one if I'm in the locker room of the Saints today. I'm having a hard time looking at Mark Ingram in the face because of that. And, man, I'm shaking my head and just going, what a damn year. We play like that and then blow it in the last 4 minutes like you described to Brady and company. Holy crap.
And making that even more inexcusable, the fact that the Buccaneers, with the questionable decision to punt with 7 minutes to play, they initially had the offense on the field to go for it. They ultimately decide to punt. And a lot of criticism of Todd Bowles, heavy booing from the home crowd. I don't know that Todd Bowles really drew it up the way that it was going to happen.
Well, no.
Tom Brady made him look good.
Right. Well, and Mark Ingram. I mean,
Mark Ingram made him look good. Yeah. Yeah. Regardless of whether or not you count on your Hall of Fame quarterback to do something that only he and maybe a few others in the history of the game are capable of even trying to do, you need to have the Saints shoot themselves in the foot to get to the point where you even have an opportunity to have the time to get down the field twice. And then again, the Saints didn't exactly manage the clock the way they should have, forced the use of all the timeouts. They were aggressive, far more aggressive than the Vikings were when they were backed up against their goal line and just ran, and then you got to sweat it out. They tried to get the dagger. They tried to get the first down. But you put those two together, and it gives Tom Brady his opportunities. And it was the 44th fourth-quarter comeback for Tom Brady, broke a tie with Peyton Manning for the most fourth-quarter or overtime comebacks in NFL history. So let's take it to that drive. Mark Ingram goes out of bounds, stops the clock. Yep. Saints ultimately go get the first down. The Bucs get it back, and they're inside their own 10. It doesn't look like it's going to go well. There was a near interception, although I don't know how in the world they ruled it as an interception in real time. The ball obviously hit the ground and skipped up to Bradley Roby. I know that they think, well, let's just go ahead and play it out because we can fix it on replay. But sometimes it's so obvious. You're like, come on. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, let's go.
We're letting this play continue and guys maybe get tackled when it's obvious. So they get a first down on the next play. And this was the moment to me where, and I'm not one of these folks that watches a game and is constantly looking for holding. I follow the ball and then you use a little bit of your peripheral vision to see if anything stands out screwy on the wall of blockers. But, you're watching the quarterback, you're kind of, it takes time to even begin to have the slightest amount of comfort that you're picking up what you need to see. That said, Donovan Smith on that play, 5 minutes to go, 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers on their own 21. Watch what he does to Carl Granderson. Look at that. It's like
a bear
WWE. He's trying to pick him up and do a backward pile drive of him. I mean, it's a full bear hug. Look at that. And it's right in front of Brady, Chris. Not a peep from the broadcast. And I know that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman can only see so much, but they got an army of people helping them. How did nobody say, we need to run that back and show what Donovan Smith did there? That's one of the most blatant holds I've ever seen, called or uncalled. I couldn't believe that.
I agree. Well, there was a lot of arm hooking by him all night long. And, we could talk about the telecast all we want. What's more disappointing is that referees, again, the inconsistency of refereeing it's mind-boggling right now in the NFL.
Hey, Chris, I am not one to believe games are rigged. I'll say it. I don't need a call from 345 Park Avenue today saying, oh, why are you saying games are rigged? I'm saying they're not rigged. But you know what? Stuff like that makes it a lot harder for those of us out on the front lines who are trying to tell people who email us constantly and tweet at us constantly the games are rigged.
Right. No,
constantly.
I know.
The games are rigged. Look at that play. The games are rigged. Donovan Smith was holding on nearly every play the final 2 drives. It was to the point where Tom Brady, I thought, was consciously trying to get rid of the ball before Smith could hold someone. Because there were plays where I'm watching, I started to just watch Smith.
No, I know you did. I saw in the text.
The ball's out.
Right.
The ball's out before Smith has a chance to hold.
Yeah, there's holding again for the touchdown.
He got called on that one.
Oh, that was that one. Right.
Chris, he held again on the touchdown that won the game.
I know he did. That's why I misspoke there. I saw it, Mike. I did. I was aware of it. I was aware of it a little bit, I think, earlier in the fourth quarter because I saw it a few times and went, damn, he's throwing out his right arm a few times. And I think they called a penalty on him once where, Troy and Joe kind of saw a replay and it was a bad angle. And they're like, oh, I'm not sure about that one. And I was like, what? I remember seeing it, in the real action. It was a bear hug again. But that's where that bothers me. And I don't understand what the referee's looking at. That's inexcusable. So that does bother me in that department of, wait, you're sitting there and you're obsessed with the quarterback and quarterback protection. So you can't tell me you're not watching that area. And then we miss blatant calls like that. I mean, blatant, game-changing calls. Inexcusable. It really is. And yeah, it makes me wonder as I'm going, is the guy just sitting there going, man, this is awesome. Let me just watch Brady and enjoy this. And he's got popcorn like the rest of us at home, just going, this is awesome. I mean, that's what I was sitting there thinking. I think he's just in there. I was literally going, I think he's enamored with just watching Brady right now. I don't think he's watching anything else. So I don't know. Either way.
Here's my theory.
They don't call it.
You want to know my theory?
Great drives by Brady. Yep.
I don't think that it's rigged in the sense that they want someone to win. I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah, but they like it close.
They want it close.
Right.
Roger Goodell was on CNBC in the days preceding Super Bowl 48, the one they played at MetLife Stadium. And he was asked, who do you root for? And he said, I root for the team that's trailing. Because he wants an exciting game. He wants a game that holds an audience as long as possible. So Tommy's down 16-3. 5 minutes left. Now, he's probably not going to pull this off, but you know what? Let's make it interesting. And I'm not saying that anyone does it consciously, but let's make it interesting. Let me get down the field and do his thing. Oh, yeah. So what if the left tackle wrapped his arms around the back of Curtis Granderson or Carl Granderson and was going to pick him up and, make it look like a little simulcast of Monday Night Raw.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, we'll swallow the whistle here. We'll keep the flag in the pocket. Because it's far more interesting to let this drive continue than to have 1st and 20 from the 12 with less than 5 minutes to play. So they just don't call it. And it's over and over and over again. And they don't call it. And you do get to a point where you think they just want an exciting finish. They don't care who wins. They just want 4th and goal from the 7, 3rd and goal from the 4. And I feel like that becomes a subconscious thing. And if you hear it enough, and look what happens, the NFL. Now, when there's high scoring games, the NFL sends out the emails, thumping their chest about all the high-scoring games. Look at all these high-scoring games. And there aren't high-scoring games. Well, we don't care if they aren't high-scoring. No, but when they are, we get the emails and the PR push. All these high-scoring games. Oh, look at this. All these and now, this year, it's been, look at all these close games every week. More close games than ever. All these games within a score in the fourth quarter. All these games within a score when they end. Because that gets people to stay locked in to their TV. Because anything can happen. And last night proves anything can happen. You only have 3 points, 55 minutes. Your offense looks like steamed crap, 55 minutes. Doesn't matter. Anything's possible, especially if we're not going to call holding, blatant holding on the offensive lineman so that the quarterback has time to operate. That's where, for me, there's reason to take out some tinfoil and turn it into a nice little hat. Because that's not, we want the Bucs to win. We want the Saints to win. We want someone to cover. That's just, we want this business that thrives on people being locked in and excited and engaged to be as exciting and as engaging as possible. That's what drives that. And that would be the only explanation, other than temporary blindness of the officials. That would be the only explanation for how that call got missed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mike, I don't know if I agree with everything you're saying there, but I don't disagree with your sentiments, I think, with what you're saying overall. And I think it's natural, like human, feeling of, oh, they're down, and I don't want to bog the game down and throw a flag here, and it's unlikely they'll come back anyways, and let me just keep it going. And yeah, and then it snowballed. It kept going, and Brady kind of caught on fire. Yeah,
maybe we should have thrown those flags.
And they got the Saints reeling, right? And 345's got answers. They got questions to answer. They really do. The refereeing's all over the place, and we can spend a whole show right now on how bad reffing is around the NFL. It's the worst I've ever seen it, and it's because of 345. They're way too involved. They don't know what they're doing. There's mixed messages. It's inconsistent. But all right. All that said, yes, and it's annoying. It definitely is. Bucs, great drive. Not going to take that away from Brady. He's the clutchest guy, maybe we've ever seen in the history of sports. He's amazing that way. Does it make you feel any different about the Bucs? Does it? Do you?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Why? Go ahead.
Because it's almost like the mindset that you need to apply with the Vikings this year. You can't leave the door open for Tom Brady, because if you do, he's going to get you. He's going to slip into that old school mode where you just feel he's like, you know what? This is there isn't a whole lot that excites me when I roll out of bed in the morning anymore. But this is what excites me, being in this moment, having this opportunity. He transforms into superhero. So you've got to be up. And this is where the Saints failed more than anything else. Obviously, the Mark Ingram play and the bad clock management. But before that, it shouldn't have been 16-3. It should have been 33-3. They should have been blowing them out all night. Then you can't have the shamrock up your butt at the end.
No doubt about that.
That's the only way to comfortably get rid of the Buccaneers. Take advantage of your opportunities to kill them early so they can't come back and kill you late.
Yeah, listen. You can't poke the bear. That's what we're saying here. And when it comes to Brady and just letting them have that chance, you're playing with fire, especially with the way the rules are in the NFL right now and the end of the game and all of that. Yeah, it's advantage Tom Brady in those situations. I don't know if it makes me feel any bit different about the Buccaneers, though. I know everybody wants to play the angle of like, oh, we don't want to see the Bucs and Brady in the playoffs, and I want to go, no, I would want to see them.
Well, the four teams in the NFC South,
right?
The four teams in the NFC South,
right?
Aren't they the last one that you would want to win that division if you're another NFC playoff
that's
team?
for sure, but I think that plays into the point of what we're talking about with the Saints. The Saints aren't good. They've been inconsistent all year long, and they just couldn't smush them and put them away there. But that's where I don't think the other teams that they're going to play here, some of the more talented teams down the stretch, whether it's the 49ers or the Bengals that they got coming up on the schedule, or even in the playoffs, they're just not going to get away with the play right now. That's to me. I always keep waiting for Tampa to turn it around and go, oh, this is the moment. And maybe this is. But this is like strike 7 of the year of me saying that, where I go, well, I think this could kind of get them going. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. There's still so many of the same issues that we look at. We're going to sit here and talk about Brady and how clutch it was. But we're not, nobody, as the day goes on, nobody's going to talk about how below average he was the whole football game. I mean, it's way below average. Not good. People open. Stand in the pocket, throw to the people that are open, and then throwing the ball to the check down before anybody can even get downfield. I mean, it wasn't good play. Defense is not as dominant as we thought against an offense that's all over the place. So that's where it's like, it's frustrating and annoying with Tampa Bay because you see some spots on their team where you think, wait, there's some talent and some things to like about it. But it just I don't know what it is. It's just a weird disease they have this year of the inability to put it together. Whether it's Brady, the run game, the defense, it's always something every game. And great win, but I just, look at it more than like, I don't know if I look at it and stamp it and go, oh, right, Tampa really turned a corner here. Or more I go, man, like you kind of said, New Orleans just couldn't have screwed it up more throughout the night and really should have been up by 24 points. So that's where it's weird and it's hard to describe Tampa and how you feel about them going into the future because, yeah, it's a win. Yeah, they're 6-6, and yeah, they got Brady. But I think if we took Brady out of that equation, we'd all be going, they're not really worth a damn. And I think we're letting Brady's history influence our thought there a little.
But we see the history come to the present in moments like last night.
Sure.
The Buccaneers are that really expensive sports car that is also kind of a piece of shit. You go through stretches where it won't start. It's got a flat tire. I don't know what's wrong with the carburetor. Is there a carburetor even in the car anymore? I don't know what's
not mine.
And then they get it going. They find a way to get it going like they did against the Rams. They win that game late against the Rams. So what do? They go over to Seattle, to Germany and kick the crap out of Seattle. They keep it going. And then the air goes out of the balloon. Oh, we got a flat tire now. And they looked awful last week coming out of their bye against the Browns. They had the game won and they blew it late. But the point is the car breaks down. And then they find a way to get the car going again.
Yeah.
So now, here's the difference. This week, you know what? Donovan Smith can do the Jeff Van Gundy on Alonzo Mourning's leg. Was it Alonzo Mourning that Jeff Van Gundy
was
riding?
Mourning.
He can do that to Nick Bosa, and Bosa's still going to get to Brady. That's the next opponent.
Well,
so good luck, Donovan Smith, with Nick Bosa.
Well,
you can bear hug, you can hold, you can grab, you can do whatever, and you're still not going to slow him down. So it doesn't mean they're going to follow this up with a short week cross-country flight to San Francisco and beat the 49ers.
No.
That said, I feel like if they could just get those two wires together and get a spark in that first playoff game, all they got to do is get to the playoffs. If they can spark the two wires together at some point against the Cowboys, who they've beaten twice in a row, week one of the last two seasons, if they can do that then who knows what they can do, how long they can keep that car running. That's my concern. If you are one of these other teams that are looking at the NFC South as an easy out, whoever wins it, they can't match up with us. They can't beat us. If you get a chance to beat Tom Brady, you better be up 30-0 in the first half. And even then, 28-3 in the third quarter. I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to see it,
I wouldn't want him in the playoff field at all because we've seen what he's capable of doing.
I hear you. It's always going to be scary with him there. It is. But we've seen nothing of the flickering of the two things. Nothing. It's absolutely nothing of the whole year. So that's where, the more and more I watch them, I just go, okay, this is what they are. It is. And you're right, Mike. First off, there's going to be a tremendous spotlight on this, I would think, where – the referee for next week's game is going to be watching this. Shanahan is going to, and the coaches of the 49ers are going to have a long meeting with the referees before the game to go, hey, the guy held on, here, let me show you an iPad. He held on 60 plays last week. You guys only called like 2 of them. So there's going to be an issue there. Then
maybe you should just show him the plays he didn't hold on. That would be a much shorter meeting.
But much shorter. The other problem is within that, the Saints, like even some of those plays we showed there, I was mad at a few of the defense ends of going, like, you have to show you're getting held. You got to make a scene a little bit. And you got to kind of yell at the ref after the play, so maybe the next play he's just watching a little more closely. You don't have to be a jerk and get a penalty, but you got to, hey, he's holding me. And
you're right.
And they never
we don't know what they were saying. Maybe they were, but you're absolutely right.
You got to
ham it up a little bit. You got to be yelling and screaming. Dennis Allen needs to be out there.
Exactly. I never saw any of that. Right. Yeah. I never saw any of that.
That's a great point.
So that to me is part of it too, and good teams know how to sell those points. But the other thing, Mike, I want to hit on to your point.
Let me just say this before you go on. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Think of what Sean Payton would have been doing last
exactly.
night.
He would have been going crazy. Shanahan would have been going crazy. Bill Belichick would have been going crazy. They'd have been over there imitating what is happening, and they'd have been losing their mind. Vrabel, Andy Reid, whoever. But there was no reaction on some of from the Saints sideline, which I didn't understand.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.